Good morning, this is Shelby Law with the Great Basin Prescribed Fire and Smoke Briefing for Monday, January 8th, 2024. Precipitation information is shown here for the past 7 days on the left and the percent of normal for the past 30 days on the right. We finally have broken through our dry spell for December and early January. We did have some storms move through the second half of the work week, last week and into the weekend, which brought precip to much of the Great Basin, especially over the higher elevations of Utah in the way of snow, and across northern Nevada and southern Idaho. 30-day precip averages are still quite low. We are hoping for and expecting more precip in the forecast. The snowfall for the past 20 or 72 hours is shown here. Again, that storm coming in late in the work week and through the weekend, bringing some good snow to the Utah mountains, southern Idaho, and northeast Nevada, and along the Sierra front here. The Idaho mountains didn't get a ton of snow, but they do have some coming in the forecast. So some of these deeper reds are up to a foot and a half, maybe 2 feet of snow in some areas with those darker reds. Current snow information is shown here with the inches of snow on the left, and then the current snow water equivalent percent of normal on the right. Snowpack is below average for most of our areas across the basin. Some areas are pretty low, especially across the south, Sierra Front, central Idaho. But again, we are expecting a few storms to continue to roll through this week to improve that snowpack. Okay, so let's take a look at the satellite imagery this morning. Here's that low that moved through over the weekend, quickly exiting off to the east, and we have another storm setting up over the Pacific Northwest that's knocking on our door. We'll be moving into Idaho tomorrow and diving deeper south into the basin on Wednesday. So today, again, by today, we will start to see some of that moisture moving into northern Nevada and into Idaho, but today is kind of a break day for precip. Ventilation rates are pretty good across the south, a little bit lower across the north for today. Transport winds here on the left showing some breezy conditions across southern Nevada, southern southeast Utah as that low exits off to the east. Mixing heights aren't great today, especially across the north, a little bit higher across the south. Maximum temperatures today are going to be right around freezing for the most part, cooler of course at the higher elevations. A little bit warmer across the west as well. Probability of precip is pretty low. Again, today is kind of that in-between day from the storms we had over the weekend, and then the next storm sitting on our doorstep for tomorrow. On Tuesday, the next low moves into the Pacific Northwest and the northern portions of the Great Basin, bringing more precipitation, especially to the north. Ventilation rates are good across the north and west, but a little bit on the low side over Utah. Transport winds pick up quite a bit with this next storm on Tuesday, especially over Nevada and Idaho, Wyoming, and the higher elevations of eastern Utah here. Mixing heights are pretty high as well across the north, lower over southern and southeast Utah. The storm continues to drop further south into the Great Basin on Wednesday, and we expect to see precipitation moving again further south into the central portions of the Great Basin. Ventilation rates are good across the area. Another windy day on Wednesday, especially over the higher elevations of Utah and across portions of southern Nevada. And mixing heights are also quite high in some areas on Wednesday as that low moves through. Forecasted clearing index is shown here for the next 3 days. Got some pretty good values over southern southeast Utah today, decreasing somewhat tomorrow, and then picking up again on Wednesday. The 3-day precipitation totals are shown here. This is Monday through Thursday. Most of this is coming again in on Tuesday across Idaho and into Wednesday, a little bit further south into Utah. On Thursday, we'll see kind of another in-between day as that next storm exits off to the east, and we have another one kind of starting to form off the coast here. Ventilation rates are pretty good on Thursday. And then on Friday, we really see more very moist, cool northwest flow moving into the Pacific Northwest, Northern California, and into the Great Basin for continued snow into the area Friday, into Saturday, into Sunday, and then kind of finally exiting out by late in the weekend. So quite a few storms on tap Really expecting to see our snowpack totals go up, and our ventilation rates will be pretty high through the week as well as these storms filter through. The precip totals for days 4 and 5, this is Thursday through Saturday, are shown here. Again, precip mostly coming to the northern portions of the Great Basin, Idaho, western Wyoming, northern Utah, and northern Nevada. And the extended forecast for January 15th through the 21st puts a bullseye of cold temperatures over the eastern half of the U.S. with some cooler temperatures over the northern Great Basin, and then above normal precip across portions of the area during that time frame as well. So hope to see the storms continuing to move through. This concludes today's smoke dispersion briefing. Please check back on Wednesday for the latest updates.